What's good, people? Welcome back to the Onyx Report, Black Masculinist news for the day. This is a two-parter, and it had to be done. Had to be done. Yeah, this is a rough one, y'all. But as I've been saying to you, it's been occurring more and more often. Right? So this is a piece you can find on the crimeonline.com website. As you can see, the title is Chicago Mom Shoots Dead 12-year-old Son Because He Wouldn't Give Her Missing SD Card. For those not familiar, an SD card is a storage card that many people use for their computers, video games, transfer files. Tends to be a small square little thing. There you go. SD card. Apparently that's what this boy died of. So it reads, Chicago woman was charged Sunday with the fatal shooting of her 12-year-old son over a missing SD card he said he didn't have. In court on Sunday, prosecutors said that the video from inside the home captured, I don't know, it's Phelan Harris, 33, confronting Caden Ingram, her son, about a missing secure digital memory card that had been taken from her vehicle the night before. The video showed Harris demand the return of the card at gunpoint. Then, off camera, she shot him when the boy failed to hand over the card. Damn. Prosecutors said the gunshot was captured on audio. After shooting her son, Harris went to answer the telephone, leaving him conscious and crying. Jeez. Prosecutors said when she returned, she again demanded the card. God, Ingram said he didn't know where it was, and Harris shot him again, this time on camera. She used a silver revolver, prosecutors said, and Ingram collapsed on the floor. Prosecutors said that Harris spoke with two family members over the phone after the shooting and told them she had shot her son because he wouldn't return the SD card. And those family members called police and Harris's husband. Harris admitted to police officers that she had shot her son and led them to the weapon she used. Officers found Ingram on the kitchen floor unresponsive. He was taken to the University of Chicago Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Family members told investigators that Harris had recently been behaving in a paranoid manner and that she had a concealed carry license and owned two guns. Harris has been charged with first-degree murder and was ordered held without bond. There she is. This is ridiculous, y'all. This is ridiculous. Let's see if I can find a picture of this boy. I was looking at one earlier. You know, I don't know. I don't ever really get used to killing of boys. Really don't. Especially when they're killed by family members, let alone mothers. This is absolutely ridiculous. Let me see. How can I pull this up? Here we go. This is Caden Ingram. Yeah. Now the weird part about this is, you know, I don't know why they choose which pictures they choose. I'm tempted to say that the pictures they tend to use, especially for boys, are generally not photos that elicit empathy. That's my suspicion. I don't think they elicit empathy. So let's look at another one. There we go. That's another. Now let's just take a moment. Look at that picture right there. Right? That's a picture of the little boy who was killed because he didn't give his mother, or she claims he didn't give her, an SD card he says he never had. Look at that picture versus that picture. And the previous one is the one I'm finding more often than not. There is a politics to the imagery shown. And the imagery we tend to find for our boys, is one that generally lacks humanity. Now, when I first posted this, you can see there really wasn't much information there. All that was said was that she killed her son over a missing SD card, shot to death in the location that it took place, and the date, September 11th, yesterday. The interesting thing about this, though, is I immediately had people in my comments, one in particular, who came in and, of course, blamed the father for even having, a child with this woman. And I said, part of the problem here is you assume a lot. Right? First, you assume there is one. He could have been killed. He could have been dead. You don't even know if he even knew he had a child. There's all kinds of scenarios. And again, I talked about this in a previous video. Some people will go out of their way to blame men because we do not know how to hold women accountable. So we'll create narratives. We'll even create men. Go back to Harriet. Look at the character they created. They had to find a way to make a black man a villain by inventing a character that didn't even exist, when we do it on an everyday basis in news stories. So you saw what I had on the screen. All that was reported was who was killed, when, and that was it. And people found a way to blame a father they know nothing about in a story that doesn't even mention him. And it still somehow becomes more his fault than the mother that actually shot her own child and showed no remorse. Now, y'all know I've been reporting on this, especially last year, because my running theory is that much of this is in response to the pressure of the environment, most particularly the economic pressure, but also the ongoing impact of disavowing a need for black men for the last 40 odd years as fathers, as husbands, so on and so forth. And now finding out that men are actually necessary when the state begins to withdraw its support. My contention is that a lot of these killings, and there have been quite a few, you guys know I've been repeatedly showing these in the last year and a half. A lot of these killings, I suspect, have a lot to do with the response to that pressure. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we interviewed the father and none of these characteristics did he notice years ago. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a very, very recent thing. And it makes you question what the hell was on this SD card that she would become so frustrated about killing her own child. Clearly a mental break took place. So it could have been anything. But more often, I would say it was probably more important than the average thing. But anyway, that's what we're looking at here. This young man dying at the hands of his own mother over a goddamn SD card. And we, for the most part, we don't really learn how to empathize with black males. We don't. And many of these black males tend to leave this earth really undervalued. And I know that can be strange to say when we can point to rallies and parades and protests that are in the name of many of these black boys. But I've talked about this at length. It doesn't take long before there's a bait and switch. And whatever the equity of this performed empathy may seem to be, it generally does not go to any policies that uplift black boys and men. And it begs the question, is any of this performed empathy for the males themselves that have been killed? My argument is that it isn't, far more often than not. It's often shifted to other demographics. Hell, I've even seen it shifted more to the families of the dead victims than the actual victims themselves, even when the victims are little boys. But when it comes to scenarios like this, if it was about the boy, you'd see him all over the news. If the story is not reported, then who does that serve? Who's protected because the story isn't reported? Is it him? I don't think so. Either way, this young man, Caden Ingram, killed at 12 before he even gets started in life. Peace and blessings to you, young man, wherever you are.